Alrighty, welcome back. This is part 2 of our turducken journey. We are going to be making our seasoning and then a dry rub brine, and we are going to apply it to them and stick them in the fridge so they can soak the juices and the flavors into the meat for the next 3 days. Let's go ahead and get started. Alrighty, so my ingredients are kosher salt, this green thing, which I think is rosemary. This is parsley. This is sage. And this is thyme. And I may have gotten this completely wrong. I don't know. Normally, I deal with like the granulated powdered versions of these. This recipe called for fresh. I'm trying this new. I haven't done a dry brine before either. So this is going to be all new for me. But I know that I put all these things together and make a delicious seasoning. The recipe calls for like a teaspoon of salt for every pound. My turkey is about a 22 pounder plus a duck plus a chicken. Calls for just over a half a cup. So I'm going to just start with that one first because it's going to be super easy. It'll take its own sweet time though. Woo! All right, there we go. We're getting close. All right. So that's just shy of a half a cup total. I'm going to put it in. I am using a fantastic Pyrex bowl. Next, I'm going to take some of this green one. This one is parsley. Yeah, see, it even says curly parsley right there on it. Good that I got that right. I'm going to cut these things off right here. I'm going to guess here and sound like a master chef when I say that by chopping it into little teeny tiny bits, I release the aromas and the flavors. Or it could just be spread it around, but just chop it up so that it can all mix in with that salt. Like so. So again, mixing bowl here. Let's see if I can do this without spilling too much of it. There we go. Look at that. I didn't spill too much of it. Set that off to the side. With this one, which I believe is rosemary, I just want to take the leaves off. So I'll pluck all of, no, sage. Not sage, not rosemary. That's, you can smell. That smells like sagebrush, so this must be sage. I'm going to take all the leaves off of these. I'm having fun making a turducken. It's going to get some nice sage flavor. It's going to remind me of back home living in a desert. Sagebrush was your only friend if you were out there. All right, now for this particular plant, I'm going to take and I'm going to snip off these things pretty low. I got to pull the little tiny stalks off of these things. I don't want the stalk, I want the leaves in this one. And so my stalks can go, well, hopefully they go up because that'd be nice for the market, right? But the stalks go off to the side to be disposed of. Now, again, between the turkey, the duck, and the hen, I've got about 30 some odd pounds of bird that I'm going to be cooking. So I need to make sure I got enough of this dry brine to cover each one of those birds to get some flavor into each layer. I dry brine them separately, so I'm not turning it into a turducken yet. I'm going to dry brine them also separately. And then part 3 of this series is going to be putting the bird together and starting the smoking process. Now these were already pretty tiny in the first place, so I'm just going to chop them up to give them a little bit more dispersion as I put it in here. All right, this is the thyme, I think, but this stuff was alive. It still is alive. It's just looking a little sad. I think I need to give it some more sunlight. I need to see if I find a way to put it on the south side of the house instead of the north side. Yes, now would be the time to do it. All right, so all these are in here. I'm going to mix this up. So what's going to happen, from what I understand, is that the salt is going to pull the moisture out of the... I'm going to add some more salt, I think. The salt is going to pull the moisture out of the turkey and out of the birds. And then it's going to... That was a very precise measurement there of a shake or two. But then what happens is that as the salt gets absorbed, the juices go back into the turkey, taking the flavors of all the seasonings here with it. So, all right, that is, for the most part, my dry brine. So, we are going to pull these birds out now, get them back on the counter, and start applying this stuff and getting them ready to go in the fridge for the dry brine. All right, so the birds have come out of the fridge, and it's time to get going on this seasoning. First thing I'm going to do, though, is I'm going to put a big old long strip of saran wrap down, slide it all the way out here. Another piece of saran wrap right there. These are going to overlap each other a little bit. We're going to use this and a couple more layers to wrap this thing up. But what we're going to do is we're going to pull our delicious turkey out. We're going to set it right here on this. Kind of open it up so we can see the inside. Shake it up. But I really want to make sure I get that salt and the other seasonings. So I'm just going to reach in and grab it. I'm going to sprinkle it in here. Grab this, sprinkle that in here. See, I got to flip that breast open. This one over here. I'm using most of my stuff on the turkey here because this is where most of the meat is. All right, then I take it and I want to fold it in on itself as much as I can. Kind of pack it in tight. Our turkey is ready to go back in the fridge. The duck out. I want to fold it in on itself. Saran wrap again over the top. And there we have it. There is the duck. This was the chicken. Again, kind of fell apart. It was kind of weird. Did not do what I expected it to do in pulling this thing apart. So I'm going to take essentially the rest of this stuff and I'm going to sprinkle it all over here. Just kind of rub it in. There we go. So I now have a chicken, a duck, a turkey, all ready to go into the fridge. Next time you see this and these birds, we're going to be putting together a turducken, and it's going to be delicious.